Hello, hello. We are here with Lavender Shadows. And I'm going to adjust my camera very briefly. We're back. Alyssa will be with us shortly. She is not gone this week. She will just be late. But we're going to jump back into our game of The Burning Wheel. There is sign language and courts and balls and operas and all of those things. Lots of seduction.
Or attempted seduction.
Or at least attempted seduction.
Well, I succeeded with one person.
You succeeded with Mr. Rowan Darcy, your middle-aged neighbor.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, we're gonna jump into this and pick back up with these characters. So just as a quick recap, I guess what's happened. Marcou Tisby is currently doing an investigation on the murder of one Lord Maxence Bechard, a cousin of Vivienne Auguste, and part of the Forsaken Quill Society, a secret club of people who think sorcery might exist. And Marcou has not been doing very well on that investigation, but, you know, there's always tomorrow, or today in this case. So that's happening. Marguerite has been trying to prove herself to her employers, to the people at the Harmony Opera House. She wants to be a good dancer. She wants to be a good singer. She wants to be a good actress. Is she? No, she is not. Also, her child just ran away, and she'll have to deal with that too.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oops.
Oh, yeah. So you might want to write a belief about that if you care about that at all.
Maybe we'll see if I care that much.
You could just let her go if you wanted to, I guess. And then we have Vivienne Auguste, who has been getting lots of letters from handsome young men, and one of which is a painter who is not very rich but is very romantic. Not very good at poetry, but, you know, he's a good artist. And they're pen pals. And then there's young Lord Frederick Kleber, who her parents want her to marry, and he is very rich. Has title and everything, and if Vivienne marries him, then the money and title from her father will end up being inherited through her husband. Anyway, and her father's very adamant about the fact that he wants him to marry young Lord Frederick Kleber. She does not want to do that, it seems, at this point. But there's a ball coming up, and Vivienne has to be there. And let's see how that goes.
I was thinking, wait, the ball already happened there. No, that was a funeral.
Yeah, that was a funeral. That was not a ball. Yeah, I do remember you saying in the middle of the funeral, yeah, are there any other people at this party that I can talk to? And it had to be told to you that this is a funeral, not a party. We also have Alyssa's character.
Not gonna go there. Never mind.
We also have Alyssa's character, Josephine Jo Belay, who is a master in the sign language of ancient Sacreich, the Saint Empire. Vivienne is deaf, by the way, and that's the only way she can communicate. Probably the most important thing about her character that I failed to mention. But Jo Belay is slowly beginning to try to take control of the Forsaken Quill Society. We'll see how that all goes. She also just got a bunch of weird books about the ancient empire that once existed from the late Maxence Bechard in his will. She's been looking through those books too. And there you go. Let's go through beliefs and instincts and further catch up with who these characters are and what they're gonna do today. Marcou Tisby, who are you? What's going on?
I am. My beliefs are. That's right. I was going to look at these before we started.
Probably a good idea.
I can find the killer. I will find justice.
Mm-hmm.
I'll find out what happened to Ferrant, which, from what I understand, I still haven't.
Yeah, you're still working on that.
He died. I know that.
He did
much.
die.
I can find a better life. I will bring my family out of poverty. I'll prove I am the right man for the job.
So yeah, just
From the sounds of it, is still in progress.
Yeah, still in progress. You haven't really proven yourself as capable yet.
Yeah, and then people are not inherently not trustworthy. I will discover if Joe had anything to do with the crime.
You still want to pursue that?
I don't know.
Okay, so
Well,
a
give
suggestion.
me a.
I was going to say a suggestion for another belief would be. I remember you said last time you wanted to see if you can get your uncle, Mr. Bertrand Crozier, the sole proprietor now of the Harmony Opera House, to see if you could get Grace Kindellan, the prostitute, and her family shelter at the Harmony Opera House. That was the thing you wanted to try to do. Hasn't happened yet.
But that's not that doesn't really relate to people not being trustworthy.
No, that's what I'm saying. You can change it entirely, right?
Okay.
I'm just saying, like, that's probably a thing that you'll.
I will
end up
try
doing.
to save the prostitute.
Yeah.
Dude, from getting whacked.
Okay.
That'll help me remember why it's there.
All right. A less elegant belief there never has been. What are your instincts and traits, my friend?
Oh, sorry.
You're good.
I always have a knife on me. I always make sure to know who is in the room.
Mm-hmm.
I always have an alibi ready, and my traits are rabble-rouser, shrewd, drop-dead gorgeous, chronologue, which means I always know what time it is, odd, frugal, emotional. And then I'm cold-blooded, jaded, and thick-skinned.
Nice. A very complicated man, indeed. Okie dokie. Marguerite LeBlanc.
Okay, my beliefs. Hard work is more valuable than raw talent. I will impress the instructors with my improvement.
Mm-hmm.
My needs come first, then Isabeau's needs, then everyone else. I will find Isabeau as long as it doesn't interfere with rehearsals.
Nice.
And then men are weak and easily swayed. I will use one to find out what happened to Lord Bechard.
Do you still care about the belief? You haven't worked on it in like 2 sessions, so.
I know, because I've been working on other stuff, so I'm trying to think. I'll have to think about that.
Yeah, because that's like, at this point, right, like you know all the basic details.
Yeah.
Going any further with this would be like starting up a murder mystery like investigation yourself.
Yeah.
Which, doesn't necessarily seem like that's what Marguerite wants. But we can leave that blank and then you can think about it.
Or I'll do the one that I was going to do for
Mm-hmm.
that I'll find someone to help improve my dancing.
Yeah, find a dance instructor. Sounds good. Instincts and traits?
Instincts, I always try to flirt my way out of problems.
Yes, you
and
do.
if anyone tries to ask about my personal life, I try to deflect and change the subject.
Nice.
Traits, flowery, colorful, fretful, industrious, tolerant, and downtrodden.
And then you also have a sonorous voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice. Vivienne.
One can love me, I will find them and return favor.
Mm-hmm.
I believe I owe Jo much, I will heed her advice. I believe plants can teach people about patience and beauty. I will teach someone to appreciate my garden.
Nice.
My instincts are always be kind, even in the face of disrespect. Never neglect to send a swiftly written reply to a letter, and always have a good book on my person. And then my traits are rabble-rouser, earthy smell, salt of the earth, sophisticated, headstrong, traditional, and then I have affinity for plants, mark of privilege, and down to earth.
Nice. A very garden-oriented person.
Yes.
Cool. And we'll go through. Actually, I'll just read them right now, and maybe Joe will change your beliefs. But so Josephine Boulet, I am a strong, independent woman who doesn't need a man. Let me edit that for her. I will make Sir Pascal Gilbert indifferent to me. She's still working on that. The ancient language must not be forgotten. I will continue to teach Vivienne. The Forsaken Quill Society is without a leader. I will resume that position. Her instincts, if someone has romantic interest in me, then I push them away. If someone asks me about sign language, then I will begin to teach them. Always call out a liar. Her traits are rabble-rouser, ink-stained hands, no nonsense, headstrong, traditional, sophisticated, mark of privilege, bookworm, and driven. Good stuff. All right, so there are several places we could begin. Does any of you have a particular scene in mind to start off with? Okay.
Guess the answer's no.
I guess the
What
answer's none of
were you gonna give a recap of what happened last time? Because I don't even know where we start if we don't know where we ended.
I thought I pretty much already did. I guess.
like-
I guess what happened
but-
last time. For each of you, like specifically, you were looking into the investigation more. You went to the funeral, tried to track down some people. There was a guy who sort of fit the description. That actually, the first thing you did was you went to the prostitute's house and found out that Farron's son, Tristan, survived the attack, and you were kind of getting some information out of him. You got a base description of who the killer looked like. You went. He actually came with you now, and he's with you. And then you went to the funeral. You found a guy who kind of fit the description, but then realized that you double checked with the kid, and it didn't fit some of the description that you were thinking. And then basically, I mean, I think that's pretty much all you did last time.
Okay.
You talked to Lady Jo Boulay about her stuff, just like asking if there was someone around the funeral that like might have had a problem with him or any information she could give you. And I don't think anything really came of that conversation necessarily. So, as for Marguerite, you just tried to seduce people. There was the ball that's coming up. Their performers bailed, and so some people from the opera house were being hired to go do a performance instead, and you were trying to audition for that and failed miserably, even after trying to seduce the guy.
So many times I failed.
Yep. And you even after you failed the audition, you tried to get the lady who did succeed on the audition poisoned. Failed on that too. You did succeed on seducing the middle-aged guy, though. He's still
Literally
thinking about
the
you.
only thing I did.
Yeah. And Vivienne pretty much just, I guess, wrote letters. Yeah, she wrote a letter to Matthias Van Dam, her pen pal, and was trying to figure out what she wants to do with her life. Kind of preparing for the ball. So I don't think we're going to get to the ball yet. One, because we need Alyssa for that. But also, there's some other stuff that can happen before that. So does either of you want to begin? Even if you don't have a scene in mind, I'm sure there's one that we can scrounge up.
Is my video better and audio better now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. It probably was that then, because
Yeah.
the video's done uploading.
Yeah.
So it probably
I
was
think
just
that's
eating my
probably what it
bandwidth. Bandwidth.
Yes, just like that. Yep.
You've never watched Homestar Runner.
I know. Yeah. I understand.
I'm a
What an interesting noise you've discovered.
That is Strong Mad.
Mhm.
Eating all of Strong Bad's bandwidth literally like a straw.
Nice.
It's a weird
Interesting.
episode.
So yeah, we could start with Marco either going, figuring out more investigation stuff, or attempting to like convince Crozier to let the prostitute stay at the Harmony Opera House.
We can start with that, I guess.
I was gonna say we also could start with Marguerite trying to find her daughter, because that was where we left off with last time, or we can start with Vivienne doing something to prepare, or otherwise, what am I trying to say? A thing that was going to happen before the ball. Just like anything you wanted to do before then. Yeah. Any of those works. Marco, it is. Let's do it.
Okay.
So, which one of those do you want to? Are you continuing your investigation, or do you want to talk to Crozier about the?
Probably trying to get the kid and the lady saved.
The lady of the night.
I almost said something else. So yeah, probably just trying to get them protection.
Yeah. Sure.
Oh, I have more on here. Oh, okay. There's scrolly parts. We're hiding some of the.
You have more what?
Learns there's rumors of the timing of the Lord's death and another Lord's death leading to one person inheriting two estates.
Yeah.
Right.
That did also happen. Yeah, you did learn. That's the thing you learned from Joe. Was there was an interesting connection. Young Lord Frederick Kleber. He just inherited basically two estates. One from the Maxence Bechard's untimely death, because he's now going to inherit the August estate. But also, his father recently died, which means he's now directly like in charge of the estate where he wasn't before.
I'll probably investigate him later, but first
Yeah.
I want to get the people safes.
Okay, yeah. Sounds good. Okay, so I think we open up on the middle of this conversation, right? You're in Curzier's office, and he says, "For the last time, Marco, do you realize what kind of stain that could be on our reputation to see a prostitute walking the halls?"
Oh, I'm sorry. I figured murder was worse.
Yeah, so you're saying, like, if these people get murdered, it's on your... He's like...
Well, no, he's like saying, like, I'm sorry. I figured the murder was a worse thing to be happening. I thought you wanted that figured out.
Right. So he kind of like glares at you a little bit, and he says, "Are you saying that a prostitute stain here is essential to your investigation, Marco?"
I'm saying the only witnesses to the crime... Oh, I don't want to say this. I'm saying that if we want to solve this, we best keep the two witnesses to the crime alive.
He looks at you.
She knew a little bit too, didn't she?
Yeah, yeah. She
Okay.
witnessed some stuff too. He looks at you and says, "Where did your accent go, boy?" No, just kidding.
I gave up on the accent. I couldn't keep it consistent.
No.
I just sound like a crocodile hunter.
Which, hey, it could be a thing. Anyway, so he says, actually, I think that's probably the point where you just make a roll. Like, you've made an argument, right? It's in his best interest to keep them here. It's a persuasion test, I think.
Click the dice.
Yeah, so you can add some forks in, maybe.
Well, let me see.
The obstacle for this is a 5. That's
okay,
as well,
give me
so
a
this will
second.
be difficult. You'll have to try to
Wait,
add some
let me-
dice pools.
let me find. Let me see something. Pulling up my chart. 5. And I have a 6. Is there any reasonable way I can add 4 to make this more than a coin flip? How do and
You
I
have
can only
2 persona points that you can spend. You technically have 2 fate points you could spend at the end of this to add more chances.
What do persona points do again?
They give you just an extra dice flat. You just add
Okay,
another
that
dice.
would make it an 8.
If you wanted to, you could make some link tests possibly.
Like
Right.
what?
So murder-wise, rule of law, street-wise, any of those could be, like, if you wanted to make a link test, you couldn't just fork them in just without a link test, but you could maybe make an argument if you made a link test with any of those skills and basically say something along the lines of, "Hey, here's like a murder investigation that I went through once, and the prostitutes were instrumental to that," or
Would that be murder-wise or rule of law, though?
that would be murder-wise. Rule of law would be like, I don't know. Probably could be something there.
Okay, let's start with that one then. Let's just start with murder-wise.
Okay.
And what do I do? So I click the dice, modifiers.
Yeah. So I think the difficulty on this one, on the murder-wise link test, is going to be a 2, because it's like bringing up like a past investigation.
It's gonna be tricky still.
It is, yeah. You're trying to like recall you have plenty of fate though, so you're trying to recall a previous case that like.
So I don't have any modifiers or anything.
I think you could add streetwise to this murder-wise roll.
So what would that be?
So 1 more modifier.
Oh, okay, then I gotta reclick it.
Yeah.
And the base obstacle 2.
Mhm.
It's a coin flip. Dang it.
Oh no! And there's wow.
Right,
Okay.
because of the wounds.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. You're still wincing with every step. You can mark a difficult test though, which you don't need, unfortunately.
Yeah, I do. On
No.
murder-wise?
Well, because the issue is anything below a 5, you need the routines and a difficult or challenging.
But murder-wise has a 1 on difficult.
No. What I'm saying is, so for stuff above 6, you need both the difficult and challenging numbers, whatever those tests say. For something below 5, it's whatever the routine says and whatever the difficult or whatever the challenging says. So in
I
this
have
case,
no idea what
I
you're
mean by
saying.
that, yeah, what I mean by that is for murder wise, you need 2 routine tests and
Mhm.
1 difficult or 1 challenging.
Yeah, and I didn't have a difficult one yet,
But you had a challenging already. That's what I'm saying.
but I got to mark a difficult. I'm just confused. Why can't I
But it
mark the
doesn't. It
difficult
doesn't.
one?
It doesn't-
You can, but it doesn't matter.
It doesn't
you already
matter.
Had a
You already
challenge,
had
you only
the marker.
you only need
Oh.
a challenging or a difficult.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So what
Okay.
you need is 1 more routine test. So
Okay.
but yeah, so yeah, there's no dice there. So
Literally.
yeah, literally, exactly. So unfortunately, that does mean the difficulty increases to 6 because of the way link tests work. If you want to add, if you're still thinking of adding dice to this, you could add intimidation if you want to threaten him at all.
Is it just gonna make it worse if I fail that one too?
I mean, you could just
At
fork
this
that in. Like, you wouldn't have to roll a link test. You could just, add another dice for it.
Oh, there's
Um,
Alyssa.
There's Alyssa. Only
We
thing
just
would
started.
be, only thing would be, you would escalate it by failing, right? Like, you'd be like,
I probably
actually
wouldn't try
threatening
and be
him.
intimidating right now.
That's the figure. So I
Okay.
think in this case, unless you want to add some persona to this roll, it's just your persuasion dice.
And what's the obstacle?
Now the obstacle is 6. So
Okay, so this is pretty much impossible.
yes,
So it's not gonna happen.
you do have fate, but yeah. Oh my gosh, what? That is so unlikely. 0 in. Wow. Okay. All right. That's fine, I guess.
There was a
You're
2%.
rolling like me.
There was a 2% chance of this succeeding to begin with.
Yeah. Wow. All right. So you can mark a challenging though. I mean, you need 3 difficults and 2 challengings to advance persuasion, so that definitely helps you get better at it. But yeah, so you make a horrible argument or something, and what's his
He
face?
just doesn't care.
Yeah, Crozier looks at you and just shakes his head as you're like even talking, and he just says, Marco, my word on this is final. I will not have the halls of this place stained. I'm sure there's some sort of shelter you can put her up in, but she will not come to this place. My word on this is final.
Are the kid and her nearby?
Did you bring them with you, like, right
I'm
now?
assuming like obviously like I brought them and say like, hey, I want them to stay here. My question is like, would they be like in this office as we're having this discussion?
Probably not. They're probably like, he probably wouldn't let them be in the office.
Mhm.
Like, he probably was like, put them in a side room. Like, what are you doing? Like, why did you bring them here? Sort of a thing.
Okay, I'm just gonna get up really close,
Yeah.
put my finger to his face and say, their blood is on your hands, and walk out.
Yeah. Nice. And yeah, we see just a one moment of like a brief shot on his face, and he kind of twitches a little bit, kind of coughs, and then goes back to his like paper, like documenting or whatever he's working on right now. Yeah, so you go back to like whatever like, closet or side room that Crozier wanted them shoved in to keep them out of sight, and it would be Grace Kindellan, Tristan, and her 2 children, right? What's his name? Madeline, her daughter Madeline, and then Rolf, I think her son's name was.
Mm-hmm.
So they're all in there, and I mean, she can probably tell by your face that it didn't go well, and so Grace, the mother, looks up and then just says, I appreciate you trying, Marco. I really do. But I knew this wasn't going to work.
I have one last idea. And I'll leave it at that because it's going to be an interaction with another player character.
Sure, yeah. So we can...
I'm going to try and either see if I can... Oh, I forgot people's names. I'm going to talk to Joe or... Carly, which one's your character again?
Vivian,
okay. I'm going to try and talk to either of them and try just... Because I'm not giving up yet.
Okay, so my question is, do you show up with the whole posse in front of the estate now? Is that exactly what happens?
I probably
Or do you
tell
try to
them to I go ahead of them.
Yeah.
Say like this is what's going on. I don't know anyone here, But we can wait till because wait, does Alyssa and Carla's character, are they technically like living at the same place?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah, I'm living at her estate.
Yeah.
So I'll wait then. Because the thing is, I know Joe knew the guy. So she's like my first contact of like, I'm going to talk to her.
Yeah.
She obviously wants this figured out. It's a long shot, but what else do I have to go off of? Plus, she might also, plus I also probably want to ask questions about the one guy, and she might know something about him.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I have to go there anyway.
Yeah. So do we want to do that scene immediately or jump to someone else?
Do something else first.
Okay.
I don't care.
Marguerite, Josephine, Vivienne. Anyone want to do your thing next? Marguerite would be the obvious place to jump to next because she's the most obvious like person who has a thing going on right now. Yeah, let's do it. So we pick back up. You're in your house. Mr. Darcy has just told you that your daughter has ran away. Run away. What do you do?
What do you mean, run away?
She was helping me with the stuff in the garden. You see, we are picking turnips, digging up turnips, and then she said she had to go to the bathroom, and she had done this before, and I trusted that she knew where to go to the bathroom at, and I waited. She didn't come back, and I went looking for her, and nowhere. Not in the house or in here. She's just gone. Now, I thought she was a respectable young lady. She wouldn't just go running off into the depths of the city, but I don't know. Maybe she was distressed or something. I'm very sorry about this.
Would I be able to, like, do a really, like, basically unpassable test for child rearing to see if I know where she would go?
Sorry, say that again.
Would I be able to, like, do a child rearing test to see if I know where she would go? Or
yeah, I see what you're saying, right? Like you're like, how well do I know my daughter? Like that's the test
yeah,
here.
Basically.
Let me.
Which I know is probably not well at all.
Let me look at. Right, exactly. Let me look at the child rearing skill real quick, and we'll see. Okay. Child rearing is used to raise children with proper values and manners. The skill can be used as instruction, cooking, and field dressing, but only for the benefit of children. Yeah, I don't think child rearing would be the skill here, because the skill really isn't how well you know your daughter. It's being a mom. But you could make a Isabeau Wise test. You could start opening that skill, right?
Okay.
That's really what this is.
Okay.
Because it would just be basically a perception test. So yeah, open Isabeau Wise in being learned is based on perception.
Okay.
And so yeah, to know where she would have gone in a situation like this, I guess ob 2.
Okay. Ob 2. Let's see. Oh, I almost knew it.
You have a 6, so you can spend 1 or 2 fate, right? So you can spend 1 to reroll the 6, or 2 if you want to reroll the 6 and 1 of the failed dice. Up to you.
I'll do. I should probably do both, but what I can. Do I need my fate to dance better, though?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to use one of my fate.
Okay. So
just
/ roll or R space 1d6 greater than 4 exclamation point. And that will do all of the calculating for you. There you go. So you got a 6 and then re-rolled it again. Yeah.
Wow.
So, yep. There you go. Success. So you can mark one of the bubbles. Yeah. Mark one of the bubbles on Isabeau Wise. You have 5 more tests before you open Isabeau Wise as a skill. And yeah, of course you know where she went. Would you like
Of
to tell
course
us?
I know my daughter.
Yeah, Emily, would you like to tell us where Isabeau went?
Um,
Where would she have gone if she ran away? She's probably done this before.
Probably like the bakery where I would work because
Sure.
there's, like some good like mothery people who work there who are
Mhm.
good at baking
Sure.
and mothering and child rearing as opposed to me.
Yeah. So her actual mom's. Yeah.
Plus, it's a bakery.
Yeah, she's like, probably she like tries to, or they probably feed her a bunch of sweets. Really, is what happens here.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of
Well, they
kindly
can be
old.
like the fun people.
Exactly. Yeah, they're the fun ants, basically. Cool. Yeah. Okay, and then you think about this, and you're like, oh no, okay, I probably know where she went. And then, yeah, do you just head out? Do you like tell him to come with you? What do you do?
I guess I'll have him come with me. So I guess I'll kind of be like, I know exactly where she is. Follow me.
Okay.
With
Yeah.
like a little wink or something.
Okay, yeah. We see the conflicted, like, he's still like a little like shaken by the seduction you did of him earlier. So yeah, I guess he just follows. Okay, yeah. So we come to this bakery. We see all of these kindly women running the bakery and giving bread to customers and all of this stuff. They're covered in flour. They have the aprons and all this stuff. And we see Isabeau hiding under one of the counters. All the like women who are working there know she's there, but like she's hiding basically from the customers. And we see one of the ladies like hand her like a little pastry, right, like underneath, and then we see Isabeau, like shoving into her mouth underneath the counter. And then you walk in. Do you walk in from the front, or do you like come in the back?
Probably the back.
Mm-hmm. You just come in as if you were working that day, sort of a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of them looks at you and says, "Ah, Marguerite, so good to see you. Are you looking for Isabeau?"
When am I not?
Well, don't worry. She found her way here, no problem. I hope you don't mind, but Clarice was feeding her some sweets earlier. I hope she hadn't spoiled her lunch.
Clarice. And I kind of like march up to where Clarice is.
Yeah. So you see this like Finnish woman, kind of stout, and she looks at you and says, "Yes, Marguerite."
What have I told you about feeding Isabeau sweets?
Well, she's such a skinny lass. I have to put some meat on those bones.
The correct term for it is lithe. It is for dancing.
Well, what if she doesn't want to be a dancer, dearie?
Then she can act.
Oh, yes, of course.
Or sing.
Are you looking for Isabeau, child?
I see her right there.
And then Isabeau like grabs like a pan and then just like puts it over her like, no, you didn't see me, Mom. I'm not here.
Come on, Isabeau. You scared Mr. Darcy.
Yeah, Mr. Darcy at this point is like talking with the first woman that you talked with, who's like the proprietor of the bakery or whatever, and they're getting along nicely. Yeah, Isabeau looks like kind of like lowers the pan and looks up at you.
Come out and apologize.
I want to stay here.
Isabeau, I said come out and apologize.
I don't want to.
Isabeau.
Are you just going to leave me with him again?
No.
You're lying. Why do you lie to me, Mom?
Isabeau, we're not doing this right now. Come out and apologize to Mr. Darcy for scaring him after running away.
All right, this sounds like a child rearing test.
Yes.
You're trying to be a properly scolding mother.
Yes.
Okay, obstacle is 2.
Okay.
Whoa, nice. That was a great
I'm
roll.
a mom.
So go ahead and mark a bubble on child rearing.
I already did.
Nice. How many more do you need? Let's look.
4.
You need 4 more. Okay. Yeah, you're on your way. So she kind of just like lets the pan clatter to the ground and stands up, like just super sulking, like obviously like not letting you like she's proving to you how much of an attitude she has here, but she like walks over and Mr. Darcy like looks at her after the conversation kind of dies between him and the lady. And he kind of like not kneels, but like squats down to be at eye level with her. And he kind of like looks at her kindly. And Isabeau kind of like has a stiff upper lip. And she says, "I'm sorry for running away, Mr. Darcy." And Mr. Darcy just kind of smiles and says, "Oh, it's quite all right, child. It's not a problem with me. You did scare your mother, though." And Isabeau just kind of has like a flash of like kind of like indignation in her eyes almost. And she kind of like glances at you. And then she just like huffs and then I think she just like puts her like face in his like shoulder basically, just like and then just like into Mr. Darcy's shoulder, and he like pats her back. There, child. And then so I think Mr. Darcy like scoops up Isabeau in his arms and then looks at you, Marguerite, and then says, "Well, we should be getting this little one back home."
Yes. Sorry for trouble, Clarice. Please, don't feed her any more sweets if she comes back.
And she's just like rolling some dough, and she just kind of like shrugs and as if like, maybe I will, maybe I won't.
Look, if she comes back, at least teach her something useful instead of just feeding her.
Oh, she's an observant lass. I'm sure she's picking up plenty. And then Marguerite, you notice something. Just like a figure out of the corner of your eye, right? Like you're in the back of the bakery thing right here, but like you see through the door, out in like the place where you'd like the counters where you'd like display the bread and people would buy it. You just see a man in like a red cloak. He doesn't have like the hood up or anything, but he's just kind of like standing off to the side as someone else like buying bread. And I don't know, it's just something about it. Like, it's like one of those moments where you're just like, that is he staring directly at me? And then you blink and then he's not. And you're like, did I see that? Yeah.
Okay. Let's get home.
Yeah. And you like,
come along, Isabeau.
Yeah. And Mr. Darcy carries her all the way home. And I think when you guys get back, Mr. Darcy, like sets her down, and Isabeau just runs in her room to pout, basically. And Darcy looks at you and he says, "Well, I'm sorry about all of that. I obviously should have kept a better eye on her."
She is one to run off and follow her own fancies.
Yes. She has quite the imagination, that one. She was telling me something about a murder. I don't know if you had something that happened in the city, maybe something she picked up.
Oh, that wasn't imagination, unfortunately.
Oh. Well, unfortunately, I suppose in a city like this, there's someone being killed all the time. Sad truth.
I guess.
Well,
I'm just kind of...
Lady LeBlanc, I would like to ask you about something. The other day we had an interesting conversation.
Oh my! Is it really? I kind of just like look up the sky and I go, oh, "How late is it right now?"
Oh, I think it's getting about evening, I suppose.
Oh my gosh! I'm going to miss evening rehearsals.
Yes, of course.
Make sure Isabeau doesn't run off again.
Yes, I suppose I could do
Or-
that. It's the least I could do after. Yes, I can do that.
Thank you. I must be off.
Yeah, and then he calls after you, Marguerite,
Hmm?
as you're like kind of still walking away, I assume. Yeah. I could help out more around the house if you needed it. This window looks like it could do some work.
Oh, that would be lovely, but I don't want to impose.
No, it wouldn't be an imposition. I think we would get along well together. And he doesn't really know what he like.
And I just kind of like turn back around and keep going on my way.
Yep. Cool. Okay, cool.
That went surprisingly well.
It really did, yeah. So, do we want to jump to a scene of Joe or Vivianne's that they're doing like on their own or with each other, or do we want to jump straight to Marco's scene with Vivianne or with Joe?
If they want to do something beforehand, that's fine. I can just come in and like after they
have no ideas of like what should
anything
be
before
doing
the ball.
beforehand,
Yeah, okay,
so-
that's fine. Joe, I know you. The one thing that comes to mind with you is like the stuff with the Forsaken Quill Society. Like, there's probably going to be another meeting coming up here where it's like, okay, what next? Like, we buried our friend. Like, what are we doing now? But we can do that after this conversation with Marco too. So either one's fine.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Whatever you would prefer, because we're probably going to jump to you next. It's just which one of those scenes interests you the most right now.
It really doesn't matter.
Seth, you have a preference?
I said, I could do either. So
yeah, let's just.
I'm drawing mustaches on cards while I'm waiting. So
yeah, let's jump to the scene with Marco then. So Marco, how do you contact Joe? Do you send her a letter? Do you just come up to the place?
I probably just go to the place. I mean, I'm doing an investigation.
Yeah.
They know I am because I do have questions about the investigation.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I got it.
You show up to the gate.
Mm-hmm. I probably like leave them at like some place like nearby that's in a public area so they don't just disappear.
Sure, yeah. So like there's a nearby tavern or something and have them stay there. Cool, yeah. So Marco shows up at the gate and we don't need to go through all of the like minutia of like, you talk to the gate guard and he lets you in. We can just assume that if you would let him in to have a conversation with you, that we're kind of starting that conversation with the scene.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, yeah, frame the scene.
I don't have a reason not to talk to him.
Right, exactly. So. Yeah, frame the scene for us, Joe. Where is this meeting happening? Like in your study, in the garden?
Probably in the garden, somewhere private.
Okay, yeah.
I'm assuming nobody's really in the garden.
Yeah, exactly, right? We see Vivianne like forlornly looking out the window at the garden and then go down. See you two. Walking in the garden, sitting at the table, at a bench?
Walking, I guess. I don't know.
Did I learn the name of the person that's inheriting 2 estates because of it?
Yeah, young Lord Friedrich Kleber.
That's the person that's going after Vivianne.
Young Lord. Oh, you're putting in the.
Yeah, I got it. I'll write it down for you.
I almost spelled it right. Okay, so yeah. I kind of we're walking. I was like, full name, Miss Boulay. I have some questions regarding the investigation I've been.
Technically, proper etiquette would be Lady Boulay. You never say
Lady
miss.
Boulay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. Yeah.
No, I'm making sure because that's like a thing that would be very important.
Yeah, I think Joe at this point, she's just like, just call me Joe.
Yeah.
Okay.
They've interacted enough. They've interacted enough times to where
and
Joe
doesn't
would actually
care about that
say
sort of thing. Yeah.
No, she like just the person where she's like, if I know you on like a semi-decent basis, you can just call me Joe.
Yeah.
That's what she prefers.
Okay.
Another subtle rebellion.
Yeah.
Okay, then Joe, I had some questions. What do you know of young Lord Friedrich Kleber?
Him?
Mm-hmm.
She just like chuckles. She's like, well, I know he is currently trying to court Lady Vivienne. He was there the night of the murder.
Okay,
In
so
fact, he was in the box with us when it happened.
what was his response like when?
He was mostly concerned for Vivienne because she had fainted at that point. But to be honest, I hardly recall anything else about him that night, other than the fact that he also refused to communicate with her without me.
Refused to talk. I'm probably like scribbling notes as you're saying this.
Is he a suspect? Joe just like, so is he a suspect?
I don't know right now. Honestly, I'm not sure about a lot of things. But who did I learn the rumor from? Was it from Joe?
I think
it was
from
me.
Joe. Yeah, you're just following up, basically, right?
Wait, what rumor did I tell him? I forgot.
You heard some people talking about how it was kind of suspicious how Friedrich Kleber inherited 2 estates in the matter of like 3 weeks.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's right.
It's what you told me about young. Because probably what happened is that
Because one of the
conversation
estates he inherited was
Vivienne's
his estate, right?
And his estate. His father recently died of mysterious circumstances, basically.
So
his
I'm probably
estate and Vivienne's estate.
Mm-hmm.
Probably what happened. I don't know exactly what happened last time, but probably I'm guessing like the conversation got interrupted because she was busy at the funeral and I didn't get to continue my thought process. Like I'm not quite sure if he's a suspect, but I've been thinking about what you told me about him inheriting 2 estates in a relatively quick amount of time. I'm not going to lie, that does sound suspicious. If anything, it's the closest motive I have so far.
But why would he murder what's his face?
He
Lord
inherited his
Maxence
estate.
Bechard.
He inherited
Maxence
his
Bechard.
estate. He inherited his estate because of it, didn't he?
No.
Well, I thought he did.
So what happened, right? Like his father
Mhm.
died, and that means he is now the house lord. And then Maxence dying means that he is the next cousin directly in line of succession to inherit the August estate when the house lord perishes.
Yeah, he's the next in line for this. So I think that actually is so, Caleb. Does that make it? That would be 3 then estates he would be having.
No, because
He's
father's...
not inheriting Maxence. Who's inheriting Maxence Bechard's?
Nobody's
estate?
asked about that actually.
That's what I'd be curious about.
Yeah, I mean that you'd have to ask, right? You don't know.
Who Maxence Bechard? Is he the one that passed?
He's the
away?
guy who died. Yeah, he's
Okay.
the guy who got murdered.
Okay, so
that's not something I would have. That's not something I would have found out in the will thing.
Nobody read the will to you. It was just.
Here's your stuff.
Yeah, here's your stuff. You were in the will. Here's the stuff that you got.
So I would say like he's next in line after the current person, who honestly, do you know who do you know who it is? I'd be interested in.
Well, so Maxence Bechard was the person, and since he's died. Basically, if Vivienne's father dies, Friedrich Kleber will immediately inherit the entire August estate. It's just her
because
Vivienne's
he doesn't
father,
have any sons.
because he doesn't have a direct heir. He just has cousins.
But he's trying to marry into it anyway. So he's
exactly.
One way
That's
or another.
That's why Vivienne. Well, that's the thing. Literally, the marriage before this would have been set Vivienne up. It could have been. Friedrich Kleber wanted to get some piece of the estate because he would get like a dowry, he would get like a lot of stuff from marrying Vivienne. But now, really, it's Vivienne who stands to gain the most from marrying Friedrich Kleber because the estate in its entirety pretty much goes to him when her father dies. But if she marries him, then she just basically inherits all the stuff that she would have gotten if she was a male heir. So, yeah, that's kind of the stuff going on right now.
So I'll probably just leave it at the fact that I'm suspicious given he inherited so much so quickly.
Yeah.
And the murder seems very more beneficial for him than detrimental.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you could look into, right, like you could ask around after this, Marco, you could ask around and see more about like Friedrich Kleber's relationship to both Maxence Bechard and his father and see if there's anything more suspicious that you could find directly related to those things. Yeah.
So I'd say like, yeah, I realize that it might seem far-fetched, but it's all I have to go off of right now. It's the closest lead I have. Besides
whoever killed.
That's
Parents,
exactly
yeah.
Besides one other thing, which is the other reason I've come today. I'll kind of just stop walking at this point. We've had some witnesses to the murder of, funny enough, a different witness. A different, what's the word I'm looking for? Not witness.
A witness of a witness.
Yeah, we have a different witness of a witness that is in a bit of a predicament. I'm worried to leave them alone because it seems that the person who murdered the original witness is after them. I kind of bite my lip at this point. Is there any way that you know of we could get them some housing or protection of some sort? I've tried to keep them at the theater, and
Why wouldn't they
Bertrand
host
won't
them?
let me.
Why?
Won't. He won't let me. He says that he doesn't want to disgrace his theater, and I'd probably say that with a bit of disdain in my voice.
Why would hosting the people who are key witnesses in this disgrace the theater?
And
I'm just curious if Joe's like picking up like.
And that's like, yeah, that's right. She doesn't know. Like, I just kind of go. I kind of say it under my breath, look back and forth, and we're like, one of them's a prostitute.
And Joe just goes,
The person who was murdered was not exactly in a high living stature, and so this is
if
witnesses
you are
we have to
hoping
work
to
with.
seek shelter here at the Augusta State, I am terribly sorry, but that will never run by my lord.
Very true.
But can I make like a circles test and see if I could like find like some kind of like place from like this Forsaken Quill Society to like
the person that you know flat out that you could definitely impose upon is Sir Pascal Gilbert.
Oh no, don't say that.
You wouldn't even need to circle test for that.
No. Because then I don't have a favor. I don't want to owe him a favor. Well, I mean, okay. There's no like. Could I try to run a circles test, like to like?
Yeah, and then
like
if it fails,
one
you
I
can
already
have
know, like
Gilbert.
Leonard or Jocelyn Mercant.
Sure, yeah. I mean, you can just choose like which one of those you want to try to circles up as a person who would be friendly to this. That's kind of what you're doing.
Right.
Yeah, Jocelyn Marcant would probably be the person more than anyone.
Right, because she's a female.
Not only is she a female, but she's also more of a recluse. So
right, so she'd be more like low key than like,
yeah,
Sir
exactly.
Pascal. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna try to go for her, and if she doesn't work out, then we'll try Sir Pascal.
Yeah, sure. Okay, let's.
So, what would be the consequence here if, like, I try to roll for Jocelyn Mercant? Is it just like she's not home, or she just says no? Is that basically what?
It would probably be that she doesn't want to for some reason or another, and then you asking her is probably going to be like little like there'll be a little bit of weirdness between you two, but that would be like probably the only consequence. You'd just be like, why did you ask me to shelter a prostitute? That's weird.
You're the only other female I know that, like, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can try to do that. I don't know what benefit this gains me in game, but I'll try.
Finding the murderer.
I think it's going to be an ob 2.
Okay.
Test.
How do I roll this?
So circles is a attribute on your sheet. So stats and skills, and then it's
an attribute
right next to your
circles.
health steal. Yeah. So you can
Okay.
add reputation or affiliation. You can add your either nobility or Forsaken Quill Society affiliations. Only one of them though. And then I don't know if your reputation as a weird book lady helps in this circumstance,
Probably
but you can at
not.
least get a dice from your affiliation.
Yeah, I'll definitely take a dice for sure. So 1 modifier.
And then ob 2.
Base ob 2. Okay. Wow, I only have a 2 in circle, so I have to get 2 out of 3 to get
Mhm.
this.
You do have a lot of
Could be
fate
worse.
Mm-hmm.
though. There
Oh,
you
I
go.
did it!
Nice. All right, mark a routine test on your circles there.
Okay.
Cool stuff.
And then can I mark another bubble on my circles, like for her? Is that what I do?
Wait a second. How have you not? I know you've done circles plenty of times. Oh, we haven't marked it for you, I don't think. Unless you started
Yeah.
with 1 circles. I think you might have actually. Yeah, you did.
Oh, I
because
think
your
I
will is
did. I think
3.
I started
yeah.
with 1.
Yeah, so you advanced it already. Okay, yeah. There you go. Yep,
Woohoo.
you're working on it. Cool.
I just know so many people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, you like send a quick letter to Jocelyn Marcant or whatever, right? And she's like, "Oh yes, of course I'll help," right? Like she's like the sweetest little dear about it. She's like, "I would love to help a poor woman in need," sort of a thing. So yeah, she has like a villa
Right.
on the outskirts of town that she'll definitely like house them in.
I am
Perfect.
very thankful, and I'll probably so assuming like time passes, we like to take care of this and everything.
Sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'll probably afterwards like, Joe, thank you so much. You've made it's gonna be a load off of my mind.
Yeah.
To know that they're at least safe while I continue looking into everything.
Of course.
Yeah, and
More than
maybe
happy
you
to
guys
help.
are like, I think what we probably see at some point, maybe not like right now, unless there's anything else you want to say to Joe.
I'm kind of I'm not used to the ushy mushy stuff, so I'm kind of like, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
like, you're welcome.
Yeah,
and
there's
neither
probably-
is Joe. Joe's just like, whatever.
Yeah. Okay. So my question, I guess, Marco, is like, do you go to like ensure that they get there safely? Like,
Oh yeah,
personally?
I bring them there.
I figured you would. Yeah. So that all happens, and I think the last thing like we see of that, right? They get a place. Madeline looks super suspicious about everything. She doesn't trust Lady Jocelyn Marcant, but yeah, Lady Jocelyn is super nice about it. Marco, I mean, honestly, you've never met like, she's really shy, but like she's such a nice like woman. And then yeah, Tristan comes up to you though, like after they're kind of like getting settled in this like villa, this like minor estate out on the outskirts of town. He walks up to you and then says, "I want to come with you. I want to find out who killed my dad.
I kind of kneel down. It's like,
You said I could
need
help."
to. You've already helped more than you know. Look, right now, I just need you to stay safe. So when I find him, we can confirm it, okay? It might be dangerous out there. In fact, I know it will be. I can say it might be dangerous out there. Okay, I
You're
know
right, exactly.
it will be dangerous out there.
Yeah.
And as great as it would for you to be there when I find him, I can't guarantee your safety.
Okay.
I can't keep you safe at the same time as keeping myself safe and finding who killed your daddy.
Yeah. Make a persuasion test.
He's a
Up
kid.
3. So
Six,
he's willful for a kid, but he's still a kid. So
let's see. I still. What could I fork in? This isn't too bad, but
no, it's not. Yeah.
it's still. No,
It's
wait,
still up in
that's
the air
right.
as to
It's a -1,
yeah.
so it's
also
currently
true.
a coin flip.
I'll say you can get a fork for either murder-wise or street-wise, just for the like the thing you said about like it's dangerous out there. Like this is the truth of the matter. Like,
I'll probably both or just one.
either one of them, like right, like because that the point could be made by either one of those skills, but yeah, only one.
But not both. Okay.
Yeah.
And I have other things to bring in, I guess, if something.
Yeah, you have
goes wrong.
fate and stuff too. So
How do I spend fate again?
it's just after the fact. If there's any 6s that you've rolled or a failed dice.
In Persona.
Persona automatically adds a die to it, so you could spend a Persona if you wanted to get an extra die on this. And so if you, as you go through the submit stuff, you just in Artha, you'd put 1.
Mm-hmm. I'm just wondering if it's worth it. It'd be. It's probably something I need to succeed, so I'll try. So I'll
put 1
do.
Persona in.
Yeah, I'll put in a modifier of 1 with Streetwise. I'll use 1 Persona. And then Ob what?
Ob 3.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Cool. You unfortunately don't need a routine on Persuasion. So it was easy enough based on how many dice you had that you don't get a test for it.
But I marked 1 on Persona.
Yes, you mark in the P bubble next to next to Persuasion. That's I knew you were gonna laugh at that.
P bubble.
Gosh. You killed.
I'm 7 years old on the inside.
You can tell.
Bit on the outside too.
But yeah, okay. So Tristan looks at you and he starts crying a little bit. Starts like, okay, well, you find it.
Do I have a kid? I forget.
I don't think you do.
Oh.
Maybe you do, but I don't. We haven't specified if or. Yeah, I don't think you.
I don't think I do. Anyway, I'll kind of just lean down and hug him.
Yeah, and he basically says like, "You find him, Mr. Tisby. You kill him for me."
Not gonna respond to that.
Yeah,
because at the same time I'm like, I'm not gonna promise him that because that would be. I know that you shouldn't do that. But at the same time, if it happens.
Yep. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, on that, let's go ahead and take our first break, and we'll come back. And I think we'll probably. I mean, we could just go to the ball if we wanted to. We'll figure that out though.
With Barbara Manatee.
Yeah, with Barbara Manatee. Yep. When we return with more Lavender Shadows, stick around. We'll be right back.